Hi everyone, it's Peggy Merwin with Stamp with Peggy. It is Monday, May 2nd. I am a few minutes late, so I apologize for that. I was still running around trying to finish gathering the supplies and the things I wanted to share with you. Okay, it's showing there, so let me get you pulled up here so that I can watch for any comments or anything. Let me know that you are here. Hey Roseanne, thank you for popping the text. Okay, so it looks like we are up and going. Let me get the mouse out of the way. Okay, so today is May 2nd. It is the last day of the 21-22 annual catalog. And at like 1 o'clock in the morning begins the new 22-23 catalog, which I didn't even leave over here. Excuse me. Hey, everybody, I see everybody popping in. Thank you so much. The new catalog starts at, like I said, 1 o'clock in the morning. I shared it with you last week by looks. So beginning tomorrow, I can start like opening the catalog and showing you the inside of it too. But we are playing with new products tonight. I decided I wanted to do a magic card. I've definitely not done one on a video before. And it's been a really long time since I even made one. So I had to do a little research again and pulled out some new products. The first one is He's the Man designer paper. This paper is really cool. This is one of the papers in the May designer paper class too. So I think that's everything. Let's go ahead and turn the camera down. I said the new catalog begins. The current mini catalog, the spring mini catalog, is still good through the end of June. Okay, so let's flip you down. Hi, Nancy Sears. I'm glad you could join live tonight. Okay, so wiggle jiggle a little bit here and flip. Oops. Okay, so there you got that. Now let's go down. Okay, and we're coming back up again. So close your eyes for a second as we wiggle and jiggle. Okay, so let's get some things going here and here. Get my dimensionals out of the way. Those things out of the way. Okay, Linda Vanderspool, thanks for joining. Okay, so I am using this. What did I say? I haven't learned them all yet. He's the Man designer paper. So this is really, really fun paper. Okay, look at this with the glasses and the ties and the shoes. But then the back side is just a really nice brown check. And then this one's fun with the campers. Peggy Sochek, this is just for you. And then the back side, again, a nice brown kind of masculine print. The vintage cars is great for everybody. And then we flip it over and we've got a nice Sahara sand kind of tweed. And then Cajun Craze, I love the stripes, diagonals. And then the back side, we're all set for grilling. Okay. I got the designer paper and the dies for this one, but I did not get the stamp set, at least not yet. I decided I could do more than enough with just those. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm missing one. No, there are 5. This is the 5th print. And so it's this side, and then the back side is, again, a really nice brown. So there's 5 different designer papers. And then there's these awesome sheets of die cuts. They're already cut out. They're not stickers. They're just a really nice weight, and they just pop out, and you can pop them on your cards. So this will be a really cool, like, one-sheet wonder type thing using some of the other papers. So it's going to be awesome for the designer paper class. Hi, Gail. I'm glad you remembered. Okay, and so for tonight, I decided I was going to use the new stamp set, Brewed for You. Oh, and I forgot the dies. No, I didn't. They're right here. So it's a fun wine glasses, beer mugs. And I can't think right now what these things are called. You fill them up at the brewery or whatever and bring them home. And then couple of little fun greetings. And then there's a die set that coordinates with it. So it will cut the pieces out. You can cut out some leaves and some grapes to add on to the wine glass. So just a really fun set. And of course, my hubby loves microbreweries. So he goes on Wednesday nights to a local one. So this was a perfect set for me to have on hand for him. I was at an event this past Growler. Thank you, Roseanne. Thank you. Thank you. I was at a demo get together this weekend and we did a shoebox swap, which means you design a project, you put all the supplies in like a shoebox, you cut one set of everything for each person attending, and then you make. So I came home with 9 different cards plus the one that I designed, and one person used this Brewed for You stamp set and the designer paper, and so it's a missing middle card. But isn't that fun? And so that's how quick and easy. This one could even be a root beer. If you don't drink beers, that's okay. It's a root beer with a frothy mug or frothy on top of it. Okay. So that's what we're going to use. And then we're also going to use brand new dies that I love. You know that I really missed the stitch shapes last year when they left. Now they've come out with stylish shapes. So we have circles, squares, and banners that are all stitched. So it is awesome. Uh-oh. No, Linda, I don't think, is anybody else having problems with it freezing? I'm not having any problem here. So Linda, it must be your internet this time. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to use these. These are going to be my new favorites. We're going to be able to use these a lot now. Okay, let's see. I think I have everything. Do you want to see the card first so that you know what a magic card is if you've never seen it? Okay. And I think everybody's responding, Linda, to yours, that they're not having problems. Okay, sorry. Okay, so here's our card. It's a nice card, but it's kind of plain, right? So we have this little tab up here. And, oh, and I should show you. The card opens up so that you can write your greeting, okay? And it has this little tab, and you pull this tab, and you just filled your beer glass. Isn't that fun? Now, it is a little tricky getting that back in, but I think I fixed it this time around, okay? So again, kind of plain. I tried stamping around here a little bit, and I may try on this one a little different than I did the first time, but, and they pull that little tab up, and there's their full glass. It's kind of, remember when we were little and we had the baby bottle, the magic baby bottle? It's kind of like that. It fills up, and it empties out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now I did some of the die cutting ahead of time, and some of it I will have to do as we're going. So we have our piece of Sahara sand that is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Okay, and so then we're just going to fold that in half. And then I took a piece of early espresso that is 4 inches by 10.5. It's scored at 5 1/4, and then I cut a slit so that there's a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. Okay, so let me find, I thought I brought my paper trimmer over. I did. Okay, so let's see how far up I can get. Yeah, you can see the measures. Okay, so I put it at 5 1/4. And then I put the point of the blade at a 1/2 inch. And then I just sliced it down to 3.5. Okay, and then I scooted it just a teeny tiny bit. And then I went back over that same thing so that I could cut just a little bigger so you can kind of see the hole in between it. That way it'll help it slide a little bit better. Okay, so then we can get that out of our way. All right, so then I took a piece of the designer paper and I cut that 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Okay, and so I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that on here. And Sue, yes, this would be a great Father's Day card. This time I'm using this saying that says another round for your birthday, but how about I owe you one or several? That could be a great Father's Day card too. Okay, so I'm going to just put adhesive around the edges. Whoops. And Linda Vanderspool, I do have my silicone sheet with me tonight. Okay. And so I'm just putting that on my card front, just like we would normally do. And then I'm going to pull in the new stylish shapes. And I'm going to take the second sized square. Not the largest, but the second one down. And I'm going to grab my little tear and tape. And I'm just going to put that on here. I'm going to leave space at the bottom because my banner, my greeting banner, is going to go down there. So center it side to side, down from the top. You see a corner of it. A corner of what? Okay. And then I'm going to take it over to my stamp cut and emboss machine and I'm going to cut it out. Okay. So I'll be right back because I forgot to grab and pull it out to bring over here. So 2 seconds. And I'm going to cut that hole. Okay. And then we're going to take that off. So there I have my opening. Okay, let's get those things out of the way. Let's straighten that a little bit. Okay, these you can then use for, oh, okay, yes, it's right here. There we go, sorry. Okay, those can be used for anything that you want. Scrap or throw them away. Okay, so now we have this. And then we're going to take a piece of basic white. And I cut this at, and I will do a little tutorial that we'll post on my blog tomorrow with all of the measurements and things. I have this at 3.5 by 4 3/4. Okay, I'm going to just set it and kind of center it in here like I'm doing for a regular card. And but I'm not going to glue it down yet. And then, so now I have my opening. Okay, so I'm going to start with Memento and my mug. Years and years ago, I think, Cheryl. Cheryl's been with me for a long time. Okay. Now I'm going to put the foam on it. So I want to keep it down towards the bottom, kind of centering, but the handle takes it a little bit to the right. Okay. And then we're going to bring the foam in. And again, with the Memento, we're just going to add the foam to the top of the glass. Yeah. All right. Let's do this so that I can get that on the rest of the way. And I don't know if I just didn't get ink on that part. There we go. That'll work. A little blurry, but it's okay. Okay. Then let's close that up because now we're going to pull in StazOn ink. And so just for Sharon, I may have to do one of these as a wine glass too. Okay, so then I have a piece of window sheet that is also 3.5 by 4 3/4. Okay, and I'm just going to lay that on top of the other one, line the edges up, and then we're using StazOn. Okay, StazOn and photopolymer do not go very well together. So you want to make sure that you clean it immediately. Don't leave it sit. Don't use StazOn cleaner on photopolymer. Okay, so you may get some staining, but that's okay. Okay, now again, remember we have the window sheet on here. That's why we have to use StazOn. And then I'm just going to stamp right over it, lining it up. Now, if I had been smart, I could have done this with my Stamparatus. Okay. And especially if you're making more than one of them. And then we're going to peel it off, and there we have. Now, what I want to do is I want to get that a little bit more on that one spot. And this is where the Stamparatus would come in really, really handy, is if you don't get it stamped all the way, the Stamparatus will allow you to put it right back in the exact same place. All right, so again, you want to clean it right away. You want to get that StazOn ink and chemicals off from the photopolymer stamp. Okay, and then we can close that up. That's all we needed that for, because Memento will not dry on a window sheet. Okay, now we have an empty beer mug, so we need to put some beer in it. And I have crushed curry ink. And then the stamp set has the inside of the beer mug. And so we are going to stamp that up, lining with the bottom edge of the cup. Hi, Sherry McGowan. Okay. Now, you could leave it like that. I kind of wanted my cup full. So then I took the dark daffodil. You don't want to do the handle, and you don't want to do the very base of, but I kind of just filled in. Now you could color the whole thing, but I kind of liked the light and dark look of the crushed curry and the dark daffodil. It just gave me a little different look. And then we're going to pull in our wink of Stella, because we want some sparkly, frothy foam, right? Okay. All right, this is, now let's see, which way do I want to do? Okay, on here, and I think I can. Let's go ahead and glue this right down. And we're gluing it down to, or adhering it down to the bottom of the early espresso. And I like to kind of make sure that I'm lined up, and then I can put it down. Now, don't worry about it being not centered as good as you might want. I'm more concerned with this part. This part is all going to get covered up. Nobody's going to see if it's a little bit crooked. Okay, so that's okay. Now, before I do anything else, now I have another piece of basic white that is 2 7/8 by 4.5. Okay, and I'm just going to set that right there. And I'm going to close down. No, I'm not. Because I really can't do it that way. Okay, we're not going to worry about it. So ignore that step. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to put adhesive around the opening on the early espresso. Don't worry about putting it all over everything, just around the opening. Then we're going to take the window sheet. We're going to lay it back over our mug. And again, it's a little bit crooked there. That's okay. It doesn't matter. And then we're going to close this. That attaches the window sheet to the opening. Okay. Then we are going to use the foam adhesive strips, and we are going to put it around the 2 sides and the bottom. Okay. You still with me? You're all being pretty quiet. Okay, we're going to trim that, and then we're going to put it across the bottom also. And I did, the first one I did with tear and tape, because that's what I saw done, concentrating. Remember, you can go back and watch the video again too. I liked the foam because it gave my piece a little bit more room to be able to slide easier. It didn't pull hard, okay? All right, so now I took the beautiful shapes and I took this shorter, fatter die and I cut that. But then I want to cut this in half. It's about 2¼ inches long. So I'm going to cut it at about 1 1/8. Okay. Oh, I did that crooked. That's okay. It'll work still. Let's do this one a little shorter than 2. Let's make it straight. Okay, so I turned to read Annie's comments and I let it slide and cut, but that's okay. It's about 7/8 of an inch, so let's line this one up the same. All right, and let's get that back out of the way. All right, so now we're going to pull this back in. Now, the one thing that you need to remember is, okay, this is going to go on here. And then this will go inside, but you want to make sure that this tab doesn't stick up much above here or it won't fit into your envelope. Okay, so what I did, and let's see if I can scoot this up enough so that you can see the measurements on the bottom. All right, so what I did is I took and laid my card so that the edge was along here. I can see that this piece is at 5 1/4. This can't go above 5 1/2. Okay, so I'm just going to lay it at 5 1/4, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put adhesive on it. Sure I am. Green glue might work a little bit better on a piece like this, but okay. Now let's get this back. The top edge is even at 5 1/4. And then I'm just going to take so that the point is right at 5 1/2. It can go a little bit over because you'll have a little bit of wiggle room, but not very much. Okay. And then just stick that down. And then you can put the other side on. Okay. And then you're just matching the points up. Okay, then let's pull this down. This is going to slide up in here. And it's, so see, we have a plain beer mug. And then we pull this and it exposes. But oops, it pulled all the way out. Okay, so we're going to fix that. We're going to put a stopper on. And I have a piece that's a 1/2 inch by 3 1/4. So it's 3/8 of an inch bigger than this. So put adhesive on the back side of this. Wouldn't this also be a great card like for St. Patty's Day? You could make the beer green. Okay, so we're just going to stick this stopper on the back side. Now again, right now it doesn't make any difference because there's nothing stamped on here. Like if you did the wine glass, putting the little grapes up in the corner would be adorable. Okay, and so now we're going to slip it up in there. Okay, and so it's going to stay like that at the top. And then you pull it, and there's your beer mug. But if you keep pulling, now it stops. It won't pull all the way out. Okay, so now to finish this, make sure that you have this inside. And I kind of like to make sure it's kind of centered in there. But as you can see, there's some wiggle room, so you don't have to worry about things being exact. Okay, I'm going to get my eraser because that's driving me crazy. I didn't think it would show. I wasn't thinking that as you pull it up, it will. And that's just driving me nuts. Okay. You guys all have adhesive removers? If not, reply no, and I might have a couple, so maybe I will pop some in the mail. How about that? Also, don't let me forget again this week to tell you who the winner from last week's comments and shares were. Okay, so again, this piece is not getting stuck down at all. It's loose in there. That's why I kind of keep wiggling it around a little bit. So now you're going to close this. That's on the outside. Okay, we're going to close this. Those strips are all hidden inside. Make sure it's sealed around the edges. Okay, and so pull it up. Ta-da! Okay, so initially when we used to do the magic cards, we just did it like this, and then you put a piece on the back, but that's not really a complete full card, right? So then we're going to put our adhesive on the back of this one. Hi, Philip. Last week my daughter joined. This week my son is watching. Okay, so we're just going to put adhesive on there, and we're going to attach it to our card front. And so we're just going to center it like we do any other layer, like that. Let's get this pulled back up a little bit. And then, oh, I forgot this. I used the 2 larger squares, and I cut a frame. And we're going to put that around the opening to finish decorating it. Sue, I saw you left a comment. Give me just a minute and I'll look what it says. After that last crooked cut, I don't want to do that again. Okay, so we're just going to stick this on here. So we have a pretty frame. Oh, that's really cool. Sue said she has an extra one, so she would be happy to put it in the mail for free and get a card in return. How fun is that? Okay, then I used the 2 bigger pieces, and I cut an early espresso and a basic white. I stamped another round for your birthday. And then, oh, Annie, thank you for sharing. We are going to adhere those together. And then let's go ahead and attach that to our card front. Okay, and there's our card. That's a little crooked. Now there is also, let me go grab. I forgot about this. There's a new embellishment, rustic metallic adhesive back dots that coordinate with this suite. So let's add a couple of these on for fun. Let's put another little one over here. And then, you know what? Let's put one. Well, this little bugger's burying itself. Let's put one on this. That'll kind of be a stopper so it can't go down too far. How's that? There. Okay. You know what? And I don't think I can on this, and I'm not sure I can get it apart. Okay, let's try this. Let's raise this up a little bit because we can push the whole white piece down a little further. There. That way the white goes down in a little bit further, and it gives us still that little 1/4 of an inch above, but it gives us a little bit more of that. Okay? And write your greeting inside. If you know a brewery lover, now I could go over to where Tony goes and I could get him some little tokens like for free beers and stick those inside and have a great little gift. I could do this for my daughter-in-law who also loves breweries, right, Philip? Okay, so there is our fun magic card. So keep an eye out. I may give it a shot with the wine glass. It does. It looks like a little bow tie at the top without having ribbon on there that looks a little more feminine for the guys that don't really want that. I have another stamping friend who they love going to breweries, her and her son especially. And this would be a great item for her. So Hillary, if you're watching at all, this could be a fun card for Mom or Max. Okay, so that's what I have this week. Catalogs were put in the mail, and you should have it by now. If you don't normally get one from me and you want one, let me know, and we will arrange for delivery to you. And the new catalog starts tomorrow, so happy shopping. Have a great week, and everybody have a wonderful Mother's Day. Hopefully the weather is good for us, okay? So everybody take care. Have a good week. Bye-bye.